Welcome to Stormwater Management, Protecting Rhode Island's Waters, part of the online series Providing Resilience Education for Planning in Rhode Island, or PrepRI. PrepRI is a partnership of Rhode Island Sea Grant, the University of Rhode Island, and the Narragansett Bay National Estuarine Research Reserve. Thanks to the Rhode Island Division of Statewide Planning for their support in funding this update to the 2017 module that was promoted by the Rhode Island General Assembly and state government. My name is Jennifer Stout, and I'm an environmental engineer in Rhode Island's Department of Environmental Management's Office of Water Resources. I'm pleased to be joined by my colleague Sarah Horvath, Stormwater Outreach and Engagement Manager with the Stormwater Innovation Center. By the end of this module, you'll be able to identify the causes and impacts of stormwater, including climate change impacts, explain why stormwater management is important, and describe how low-impact development and green infrastructure techniques are used to avoid, reduce, and manage stormwater impacts. So why should we care about stormwater and its impacts? Stormwater runoff is rain or snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces, picking up trash, oil, and chemicals along the way, instead of soaking into natural landscape. This deeply affects the water we rely on for drinking, a healthy environment, and a strong economy. Rivers, bays, and coastal waters are central to life in Rhode Island, from swimming and boating to fishing and tourism. When water becomes polluted, beaches close, tourism declines, and revenue is lost. Protecting water quality supports plant and wildlife diversity, strengthens local businesses, and preserves the natural beauty that makes Rhode Island special. Along with pollution, flooding is also frequently caused by stormwater runoff. By reducing runoff through thoughtful planning and mitigation, we can lower infrastructure costs, limit storm damage, and keep pollutants out of our waterways. That's why it's so important to plan for effective stormwater management, both now and into the future. So what's contributing to this stormwater issue? In natural landscapes, precipitation soaks into the soil and vegetation. This filters the water and helps replenish groundwater supplies. However, in developed areas, there are more impervious surfaces, defined as hard surfaces like roads, rooftops, and parking lots, which prevent water from absorbing into the ground. Instead, water flows across the surface, picking up pollutants like road salt, pet waste, and fertilizers before entering streams, rivers, coastal ponds, or Narragansett Bay. This slide depicts how land cover affects where water goes and how impervious surfaces greatly increase stormwater runoff. In an undeveloped area, only about 10% of precipitation runs off as stormwater, while half of it soaks into the ground and about 40% returns to the atmosphere through evaporation and plant transpiration. In a highly urbanized area, around 55% of the water runs off, only 10 to 15% soaks into the soil, and there's less vegetation to release water back into the air. Stormwater challenges are worsened by climate change. Over the last several decades, heavy rain events in the Northeast have increased by about 55%. As heat-trapping gas emissions continue to drive a warming climate, rainstorms are expected to become more frequent and more intense. This means stormwater runoff challenges will continue to grow, making it increasingly important to plan ahead for higher rainfall amounts and heavier storms. With more intense and frequent rainfall comes more flooding. For many of us, our municipalities are not designed with the infrastructure required to handle heavy rainfall. Paved areas prevent water from soaking into the ground, causing stormwater to back up at storm drains. This leads to flooded streets, sidewalks, and neighborhoods, especially during large storms. When runoff volumes increase, streams are affected. Faster and heavier flow erodes stream banks and buries stream beds with sediment, damaging habitats that aquatic life depends on. Runoff is often warmer than natural stream water, adding stress to cold water species like fish and invertebrates. At the same time, impervious surfaces reduce groundwater recharge, lowering or drying up stream flows and threatening both ecosystem health and drinking water supplies. Stormwater runoff carries pollutants such as bacteria, nutrients, pesticides, oil, and heavy metals downstream, where they pose serious risks to water quality and public health. These pollutants can cause beach and shellfish closures, trigger harmful algal blooms, cause fish kills, and make water unsafe for swimming or fishing. Some toxins can also build up in fish and shellfish, increasing health risks for people who eat them. So what can we do to manage stormwater more effectively? I'm going to hand it over to Sarah now to take it from here.
Traditional stormwater management relies on pipe-to-pond, or gray infrastructure, moving water quickly off-site through storm drains to a nearby water body or detention basin. While it helps drain water, it also contributes to flooding and pollution downstream, as Jennifer mentioned earlier. To address this, we mimic the natural flow of water using a technique known as low impact development, or LID. LID aims to avoid and reduce stormwater impacts by protecting natural areas and minimizing impervious surfaces. It captures and treats runoff as close as possible to where it hits the ground using nature-based engineered systems, also known as green infrastructure. Rhode Island requires LID as the primary method for stormwater control. LID works best when applied early in the planning process before a site design is finalized. That's where local staff and planning boards play a key role in ensuring standards are met during project review. The LID Site Planning and Design Guidance Manual helps communities update their land use regulations, and additional guidance is available from CRMC and RIDOT. LID takes advantage of nature's free services. Intact floodplains provide flood protection, healthy forests provide drinking water and absorb heat-trapping gas emissions, and wetlands filter pollution and reduce erosion. Along the coast, salt marshes help mitigate flooding and prevent erosion while filtering polluted runoff. By protecting and enhancing these natural systems, we're also improving wildlife habitat, increasing property values, preserving community character, and saving money. When creating or updating your own municipal stormwater plan, consider these steps: avoid, reduce, manage, and maintain. The first line of defense is to avoid stormwater runoff by protecting critical natural areas. Development may be directed from important assets in at-risk areas towards locations that are better suited for growth. Instead of using traditional one-size-fits-all development plans, conservation development uses flexible layouts that protect natural features and set aside meaningful open space. Standards that limit site clearing and protect trees also reduce stormwater impacts. The next key step is to reduce the amount of impervious surface. Communities can adjust development standards to narrow roads, shorten driveways, and decrease the area of cul-de-sacs. As shown in these local examples, these changes decrease impervious cover while also improving aesthetics. Preserving mature trees and encouraging native landscaping minimizes the need for fertilizers and pesticides, further reducing stormwater impacts. After avoiding and reducing runoff as much as possible, it is time to manage the remaining stormwater on site. This is done by capturing it and allowing it to absorb into the ground using green infrastructure like rain gardens, bioswales, permeable pavement, and green roofs. Green roofs also lower heating and cooling costs and extend the life of buildings. Adapting older gray infrastructure to include green solutions is the most effective way to address today's flooding challenges. These approaches also improve local habitats, enhance the aesthetics of an area, and help create more resilient ecosystems. Finally, once new stormwater practices are in place, it is important to plan for long-term maintenance. Stormwater systems only work if they are properly cared for, and municipalities need a clear plan for how they will inspect, maintain, and repair them over time. This includes setting schedules, assigning responsibilities, and budgeting for ongoing operations and maintenance to ensure that these systems continue to function as intended. So far, we've talked mainly about new development, but green infrastructure may easily be incorporated into redevelopment projects. On the left, you can see that some of the pavement in this parking lot was replaced with attractive vegetated bioinfiltration swales. On the right, removal of pavement and the installation of infiltration basins allows previously ponded water to infiltrate into the ground instead of running off into the water body at the edge of the lot. Through comprehensive plans, zoning, and land development regulations, communities can accommodate growth while reducing stormwater impacts, preserving character, saving money, and improving quality of life. Reevaluating these tools can create more opportunities for LID while also accounting for long-term maintenance. And last but not least, involving the community early and as often as possible is essential to ensure that projects are equitable and supported. Some key takeaways. Stormwater runoff drives pollution and flooding in developed areas. Impervious surfaces increase runoff and worsen flooding. Issues are intensified by more frequent and intense storms. The negative impacts of stormwater runoff to water quality and public health are significant. And low impact design, otherwise known as LID, and green infrastructure are effective when properly planned and maintained. Looking to dive deeper into stormwater? Take a tour at the Stormwater Innovation Center or check out the online trainings offered through URI's Cooperative Extension Office through RI NEMO program, which provides stormwater education for municipal planning boards. Thank you for viewing this module. Go to PrepRI website to check out additional resources. Complete the brief quiz to get your certificate and view other modules.